Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I have the Nook 7 tablet, the 2019 version, available for $50 at Barnes & Noble's. Now there's two major updates to the 2019 version. The first one is that it comes with 16 gigs of internal storage. This is a nice upgrade from 8 gigabytes because it wasn't enough, because out of the box you'd only get like 4, and it really didn't support a lot of apps to download, or too many. And then the other one is that it's running Android 8.1 Oreo Go edition. Now Android Go is basically optimized for lower end tablets and other devices that don't have much RAM or a high CPU. So this only has 1 gig of RAM, 7-inch IPS display, I believe it's 1024 by 600. It's 16 gigs of storage like we said, but you can add up to 128 gigabyte micro SD card. We'll see if it supports transferring apps to the SD card. A 3000 milliamp hour battery, which is about the same, and a quad core processor. I wonder if that's the same too. Really quickly, one easy way to tell if you have a new one or not is if the seals on top are broken. Like the screen sticker is really the seal. So if it's not broken, then obviously it's new. Got the tablet itself here, the quick start guide, a micro USB cable to recharge the tablet. It's a thick cable, so that's kind of nice. It won't get wrapped up quickly or anything. And then you have the outlet here, USB to wall outlet. So to my left is the 2019 version, to the right is the 2017 version, and the dimensions are pretty much the same. There's no difference. It's not like thinner or anything. A little bit unfortunate. And yeah, everything else looks the same on here, except the color here looks more blue. It looks about the same. Power buttons are on the volume keys, and power buttons are on one side. Camera on top, camera on the back. It's not protruding at all, so that's nice. And it has that like soft plastic feel, so it doesn't feel like cheap plastic, but it is just plastic overall. On top you have the micro USB port, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and then on the side is the micro SD card slot, and then on the bottom you have the speakers. There's really nothing else on the bottom. Maybe that's the reset button or microphone. Can't tell exactly which one. I'll have the info to everything that I missed out in the description and the listing for it too. Out of the box, after installing some updates for pre-installed apps, there's about 11.42 gigabytes free out of 16, which is still a huge upgrade from previously, because it used to be about 4.94 gigabytes were used out of 8, so about 3.06 gigs that were available on the old one. And it's running Android 8.1.0, and you can check for updates. This just updated out of the box too. So it was a 74 megabyte update. I'm not sure exactly what it was for. I'm guessing it was just a security patch, although it does show the security patch level from October 5th, 2018. Either way, this is what you get out of the box. There's some widgets, there's some bloatware like the Nook stuff here, and the storage space is honestly enough for someone who's just looking at reading a book or something on here. But this is meant for more than just a book, to be honest. And all the pre-installed apps are these Nooks in the first two lines, the Nook apps, and then with the exception of Antutu benchmarks and these two games here and this Jetpack Joyride, I think there's one more here. Besides that, that's pretty much the pre-installed software that's on here. Oh, and the Geekbench didn't come with it either.
You get these extra adapters. With the AV adapter, I was able to use it to connect.
So the sound quality is tinny, but it's kind of loud, but it can be covered easily with a finger. So if I play it back for a moment, and yeah, it can just get really quiet. So just keep that in mind, especially when it's on a flat surface. It's like it gets kind of muffled out. The sound isn't as loud because it gets covered. And the brightness is decent. It can get kind of bright, but again, not enough to use outside in sunlight. I was going to do some side-by-side benchmark comparisons with the old Nook 7, but the problem here is that with Android 8.1 Go, Geekbench 4 is supported on here, while Geekbench 4 isn't supported on the old Nook. And then the Antutu benchmark isn't optimized for this, while it's optimized for the old Nook. So it's kind of unfortunate, but show must go on. Anyways, the single core score gets about 551, again relatively low as to be expected, and the multi-core score is about 1400. That's actually a little better than what I had anticipated, because you know, again, for a $50 tablet I wasn't expecting too much. And the specs on here Relatively good. It's about the same as last year actually. It's an MT8163 quad-core processor with the Mali T720 GPU, 1024 by 600 IPS display. Again, IPS is when you don't have the viewing problem angles, or like viewing angles being a problem, like it feels dark on one side or bright on the other. Now it's completely fine no matter which angle you look at it. I downloaded the Opera mini browser, and it seems like you can browse the web relatively well as long as there's not too many videos or anything. Like Yahoo I have a hard time with. Here, keep pressing the wrong thing. Yahoo, when I try to load up an article, there's a bit of a lag, slowdown, some freezes here and there. Nothing too crazy though. I mean, it's still doable, like you can still get on this, but it's more so like they have ads in the middle, and that's what really slows it down. See, everything's still loading, so that's one reason why. But when I tried to play a video, it wasn't working earlier, and let's see if it changes. So just loading the video is taking a long time. Now again, this could be partially due to this being a light browser, so it doesn't support whatever it is, like Flash or whatnot. I can't remember exactly what, but anyways, we're gonna move on. And the unfortunate thing is that I wanted to compare this side by side, this old tablet with the new one, see how much faster it is to like load up Opera browser and whatnot, but I'm having trouble with the internet. I can't connect the internet on both of these at once, which is pretty unfortunate. I mean, it's my Wi-Fi that's the problem, not the tablets. I want to go ahead and try and see if there's a game that loads faster, an app. So I have Jetpack Joyride here. Let's see which one loads quicker. This is the new one. This is the old version. What's interesting is the old one loaded quicker than the new one. Isn't that a shocker? So maybe Android Go isn't as well optimized. Maybe not optimized is the right word, but maybe it's not as fast as the original Android was. This is running Android 5.1 or Android 6. One thing that is noticeable is, or maybe not noticeable, is lag. So everything runs pretty smooth on here. Relatively smooth. No major lag. Unless there's that freeze, if that counted. Let's see. I don't know if that's normal, but every time I went up or down to complete like one of the tasks, it ended up slowing down there. I'm sure it was noticeable. So the next game we're going to check out here is Subway Surfers. So let's see. Click both of them at the same time, I'm pretty sure. And again, the one to the right is the new one, the one to the left is the old one. And it looks like this one's loading a bit faster. Isn't that a surprise? But don't know yet for sure. But it looks like this will be first. Okay, and the old one came first, surprisingly. I'm going to try to play these side by side and see how the lag is. You can determine it, because this isn't too hard to play. I might stand corrected though. But we're just in the tutorial mode, so I wouldn't expect any lag whatsoever. I do have one more game I want to check out after this. It's a little more intensive. It's a Sonic Dash game. But yeah, overall it seems good. Again, this is a tutorial, so there's not much to worry about with lag. When it gets more intensive, that's what really matters. Okay, so this is where it might get confusing for me. Shoot. Okay, yeah, so that was a little confusing, my bad guys. I was focusing on one screen versus the other. I guess you can't do it that way, but either way, no problems whatsoever. Everything seems good. Final game we'll be checking out here, like I said before, is Sonic Dash. So, make sure 1, 2, 3. Wow, so this one came first, but it was just about the same. Okay, so far we're on the tutorial mode here, and it seems relatively easy. No major lag. That's one thing I liked about the Nook 7 back in 2017. The performance seems to be about the same, except the old one tends to load things quicker. I do also want to check out and see if this can download, transfer apps to a micro SD card. But yeah, no major lag from what I can tell here. So that's a good sign. That's actually a really good sign. Honestly, this is so far looking like it's still a great buy, like the upgraded one. And even for 2019, it has, so far, I would say the best performance for a $50 tablet. Again, I couldn't notice any major lag here. Camera looks about the same as it was from 2 years ago. This is the front-facing camera, and it's a little shaky when you try to move around, so it's not great for a Skype call or whatever. And I tried the rear camera, and I went outside to get a better light and everything, and it came out really blurry. It's horrible. It's poor at best. So the camera is terrible, but again, I know most people won't be buying this for the cameras itself. Finally, I installed my 64GB microSD Samsung card, and I was able to change the storage space for some of the apps. I already did it with some of the apps. The problem was with the last version was that you weren't able to transfer most of the apps, only very few amounts of them. But with this one, it looks like it's not a problem. So if I wanted to change the storage space here, it's in the internal shared storage, and now I can put it to the Samsung SD card and just press it right. I can't see well through the camera lens that I'm looking through here. Transfer it, and it should take a few seconds, and it should be done after that. Won't take too long. It's at 67%, and it was transferred. If we go back to check it out and we go into storage, you can see that the storage used is in the Samsung SD card. I'm wondering if my thing is able to pick it up very well or not, but overall it seems like you can transfer pretty much all the apps, with the exception of maybe like the ones that came pre-installed that you can't uninstall. Let's see that. Yeah, you can't change it. Like the Nook app, you can't change the storage location, but the ones that you download, it seems like you can. Overall, I must say this is so far a great $50 tablet to pick up. Still one of the best ones I've ever seen, because normally they could have an IPS display or not. These days now they are having IPS displays. The cameras are terrible, but the storage space is the main thing, and it performs relatively well for games. Even some higher end ones like the Sonic Dash game, not too much lag at all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Leave a like if you found this video helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more. As always, thanks for watching.